Question: could you explain the hadith? If any one of you sees an evil that Islam regards as reprehensible, let him prevent it with his hand if he is able. If he is not able to do so, then with his tongue, using a gentle manner, a good struggle, and sincere advice. If he is unable even to do that, then let him reject it with his heart. This is the weakest level of faith.
Islam's second proof, that is, its evidence, is the Sunnah. In other words, the blessed words of our Prophet, his wisdom-filled expressions, his life which is an example for us, and the practices that he witnessed among his companions and approved by remaining silent as they were lived as social customs, all of these are the Sunnah. These constitute an important aspect of our social life and our Muslim life. In a sense, they are the explanation of the noble Quran and the clarification of the divine purpose. They represent the Prophet's way of living Islam becoming concrete, vivid, and embodied among Muslims. Regarding the Sunnah, one of the Prophet's hadiths was mentioned in the form of a question. This noble hadith is found in Bukhari and Muslim, as well as in many other hadith collections. The Messenger of Allah says, "Whoever among you sees an evil that the Sharia considers reprehensible, let him change it with his hand if he is able. If he is not able to do so, then with his tongue, using a gentle manner, good struggle, and good advice. If he is not able even to do that, then let him reject it with his heart." This is the weakest level of faith. Today, in our social life, we see a microbe that eats away at society. A disease is spreading slowly and gradually affecting the community. Evils such as usury and hoarding are being practiced by a few people, but over time they become contagious illnesses that collapse society like cancer. In such a situation, your duty is to prevent these evils with your tongue. To explain the harms of usury with good advice, to state that it is a microbe that destroys social life, to explain that adultery is a widespread disease, cancer, a gangrene, without disgusting people, without creating hatred, without harshness, but with a gentle language, in a manner compatible with the spirit of the Quran. The aim is to make the person abandon those evils. This is the method of preaching that accords with the spirit of the Quran. However, sometimes you are not even allowed to do this. You wish to speak the truth and reality. Thanks be to Allah, in many countries we can often speak about these matters freely. Yet there are certain periods and certain countries where the truth you express is seen as contrary to the state order, and you are prevented from speaking. In such situations, what you must do is this: not to establish close relations with people who commit evil because of their evil actions, not to be together with them, and at least to feel an inner discomfort toward it in your heart. Because if you stay with a person who commits evil and regard it as acceptable, Allah forbid, it means you are approving that evil. One person consumes harmful drinks, another cannot refrain from adultery, another commits different immoral acts. If you establish relationships with such people while considering their actions normal, you are approving what they do. This may cause divine punishment to come upon society as a whole. In a society, major evils may be committed. But if there exists within that society an active, lively, and dynamic community that works to eliminate these evils, that community repels calamities and tribulations, and the society is saved. However, if there is no community that fights immorality like firefighters rushing to a blaze, then calamities and disasters encompass the entire nation. For this reason, a believer should not form personal closeness with those who openly commit evils in an environment where such evils are practiced openly. However, one condition must be stated here: we are not obliged to completely cut off relations with people. One may establish relations even with someone who commits immorality, but not to approve their person, rather, with the intention of conveying the truth to them. I can even befriend someone who commits evil. But my intention is to convey as much truth as the tea I offer them, to communicate truths with every bite of food I share, and to try to rescue them from the swamp they are in. A relationship established with such an intention becomes, in a sense, an act of worship. The weakest level of faith is to feel aversion in one's heart toward those who commit evil. This is called hating for the sake of Allah. Loving those who love Allah is called loving for the sake of Allah. Toward those who do not love Allah and who belittle His order, one also feels aversion in the heart. Our Prophet says, "I was commanded to manage people, just as I was commanded to perform the obligatory acts." That is, I was commanded to guide people, to direct them, to shape them. But not with harshness, not by scowling, not by being offensive, rather with gentleness and softness, in order to convey the truth. For this reason, Allah the Exalted commanded Moses and Aaron, even when going to Pharaoh, to speak to him with gentle words. Even towards someone like Pharaoh, gentleness was commanded. This means that when conveying the truth, harshness is not the principle, wisdom and gentleness are.